Ghost Cover is a 2017 American science fiction action film starring Scarlett Johansson. She plays the character Mira Killian. Mira took off her coat and dropped her body from the top floor, activated stealth mode, fired a few bullets from the window, killing the guards. But when she reached the hall, she saw a geisha droid holding a dead man, crawling on the wall. Mira didn't bother shooting down the dummy. She asked who sent you here and only received the answer that Hanaka Robot's complicity was choosing death. While not understanding what was happening, there was a security guard who was still not dead, about to detonate a bomb, but her teammates stopped her. Mira is still thinking about what happened in this film. How is the movie going? Please let's find out with us. It turns out that in the not-too-distant future, the distance between humans and robots will gradually disappear. Humans can transplant limbs and machines to replace the body. Hanaka Robot is the largest technology company, under the support of the government, has created a special army. It is using the human brain implanted into the robot body. The old Mira is the first self. She is seriously injured after a terrorist attack. Only the brain is functioning. So Hanaka Robot came to her, implanted her brain into a robot body, and so she became an anti-terrorist. The commander tells her that the victim is a high-ranking official of Hanaka Robot. Moreover, the geisha robot is an upgraded version, easily infiltrating his brain. After that terrorist incident, 3 of Hana's scientists were tragically killed and their brains were infiltrated at the same time. But at the scene, in these 3 cases, the killer left a message himself. He said he was sent to find Hana's senior staff. But what the purpose of this guy was, no one understood, so the commander had to divide the task to investigate. Mira and Pato are responsible for investigating Hana's internal affairs. But in the middle of the street, Mira saw a strange hallucination through the glass. She felt very strange. Could she be in the past? This inadvertently reminds her of her father. Her whole family was brutally murdered. The hallucinations also made her feel very hazy. Will I be positive or might we? But the professor who created her said that her body is in good shape, and comforted her not to think too much. In the immediate future, solving the new case is important. Mira can only temporarily put this matter aside. She then went to a scientist to test the captured geisha, but its machinery was severely damaged. Information is almost impossible to get, can only connect to the brain to get information. But this is very dangerous, can even be hacked in reverse. But Mira still decided to play big. Sure enough, after infiltrating the robot's brain, she saw a man, but was about to take a closer look. He pushed him away, and his soldiers rushed to pull her. Fortunately, Pato was able to cut the link to save Mira. Thanks to that, she knew where the knitter was. Mira follows a clue to a bar, and she and Pato split up for action. Mira entered the bar first, but the intention to find someone was too obvious. She was stopped by the guards, pushed into a dark room, and asked who she was. One side tortured her with electric batons, causing her to cut off contact. Outside, Pato did not receive her signal, a bit bewildered, so was discovered by the gangsters. When he was about to be eaten with copper candy, Mira saw it angrily and kicked down the thugs. Pato took the opportunity to kill the gangsters who were threatening him. The two met again in the basement. Mira suddenly encountered a strange image. Before she could figure out what it was, the image was quickly turned off. It turned out to be an illusion. A big man appeared. Mira opened fire again, seeing that it was an illusion. Pato entered. The two of them discovered that there were tons of bombs there. The bombs exploded, causing both of them to lose their bodies. Mira is a robot, so it was okay, but Pato was different. The explosion damaged his eyes, so Hana gave him a pair of cyborg eyes. After being repaired, the two continued to investigate, but the other scientist logged out. Although there was no trace at the scene, Mira found a USB, in which the list of participants was recorded. Machine Army Research Project. All victims are on the list. Mira also discovers that the next person to die is the professor who created her. They were unable to contact the professor. At this time, she was walking when she was hit by a garbage truck. The cleaning staff on the garbage truck seemed to be manipulated and accidentally opened fire. Fortunately, Mira arrived in time. She and Pato worked together to save the professor. Pato only had time to kill one guy. The other guy was lucky to escape. He passed a skyscraper, then ran to a lake, but Mira was already hiding there. So he fell on his face. When he got up, he was thrown into the air again. 2 more hits in the middle of the chest. Mira appeared and grabbed the man by the neck and asked for the mysterious man's whereabouts, but he didn't know anything. Mira got mad, so she punched again. Pato hugged her and advised her to calm down. Despite being repeatedly tortured, the young man still did not declare anything, still talking nonsense. Turns out he was manipulated by that man into his memory. Suddenly this young man's attitude changed. Guessing that the man was manipulating this guy's mind, Mira went into the interrogation room to talk to Bytime. The IT team managed to find the man's address through the transmission. However, when they reached this location, they saw a horror story. It turned out that the guy in black used the brains of the living to set up his network of connections. Mira saw the hallucination again, like in the basement. Before she could figure it out, she was knocked down by a baton. When she regained consciousness, Mira saw this mysterious man, but he did not harm her, and told her a terrible secret. Turns out she wasn't the first to get brains into machines. Before her, there were many people who were forced to become test subjects, and he was a failed product. When I saw my body torn apart, I was treated like an animal. He resolves to take revenge on Hannah, but Mira says it's murder. She then talked to him with a few shots, but discovered that his chest had a familiar tattoo, apparently appearing in her hallucinations. He must have gone over and told her that the drugs Hannah gave the robot all had a memory-suppressing ingredient. Perhaps their memories have all been altered. Her shell belongs to them, but her soul does not. Mira still couldn't swallow this. When Pato arrives to save her, she not only lets the man go, but runs away herself. She went to the professor and forced her to tell the truth. It turns out that before Mira was created, there were 69 failed experiments. To ensure confidentiality, Hannah inserted fake memories into each object, of which Mira was the first to succeed so that she could completely transform into an assassin. They gave her the illusion that her parents died in a terrorist attack. Mira knew she had been tricked and was furious. Director Hannah is the leader. He decided to retrieve Mira for destruction. But Mira was different from the past. Whoever stood in her way, she killed them all. After returning to the company, the director ordered the professor to destroy it immediately, but the professor did not heartlessly harm Mira, so she changed the poison into a maintenance drug, then released her and gave it to real memory chip. The director that's why he shot and killed the professor. He then went to the commander, slandered Mira for killing the professor and demanded that she be destroyed. But the commander-in-chief chooses to believe in the members of his team. He sent Kate away, then sent Pato to find and protect Mira. At this moment, Mira follows the memory chip to a house. While talking, learned that this person had a daughter. Years ago went to a slum full of homeless people. Not long after, the government announced her daughter was dead, but in disbelief, she looked at Mira and remembered her dead daughter. However, Mira felt strange again. She just had to leave, then told the commander about the truth of the agent team. Conscious of Hannah's hypocrisy, the commander decided to report it to his superiors. Unexpectedly, as soon as he got into the car, he was killed by a gunman on the spot as they approached confirmation. Unfortunately, the older the ginger, the more spicy it becomes. The commander is ready. He leisurely got out of the car, defeated the assassins one by one. At this time, Mira wanted to inform the man in the cloak who had opened his signal. She returned to that slum, finally regaining her complete memories. It turned out that she was the missing girl. At that time she and a guy lived together here, but they were taken by Hans to experiment. The man wanted Mira to join the revenge plan, but as soon as he finished his sentence, a huge explosion occurred. The two jumped out immediately. It turned out that Carter had located Mira, dispatching the tank to kill everyone. Mira fired bullets to lure the tank away, but the tank fired continuously, causing the entire building to collapse. Carter thought Mira was dead, so he took action with the other man. Suddenly Mira stealthily jumped on the tank and put all his strength into ignoring the broken arm to remove the hood. The tank immediately exploded. Mira was also thrown out. Her man friend slowly crawled to Mira's side to tell her he had uploaded his consciousness online. No matter where the body is, his soul can be with her forever. But Carter didn't want to lose. He shot the cloak man in the skull. When preparing to try Mira, the commander's gunner killed Carter's gunner first. Pato also quickly saved Mira. Then the commander came to accuse him of treason, but he still denied the crime, so the commander pulled out a gun and shot him dead. Mira is also relieved to receive her mother, find herself again. The film is here to end. Thank you for watching patiently. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe for me. Goodbye.